And we're live.
Well, hello, everybody. Welcome to the Wednesday night live stream. Minus Rick. He's courting tonight.
Yes. Rick is facing the judge. Nothing bad, though. He's getting a permit or something for some project he's working on.
I think he's testifying about all the good things about something that's bad or something like that.
Yes. Highlighting all the good things about a bad thing.
Well, if anybody's got any questions out there, fire away. We're all right-tailed and bushy-tailed, at least for right now.
I'll start with a bit of the usual news. I don't know if people saw at least people on my channel saw the link I posted for the Acmer P3. It's out there for pre-orders now. It actually looks like a really nice laser. If I was Rolly, I would be a little concerned because it looks very much like a Rolly. But it's got a diode laser and an IR laser built into it, and it's enclosed. So I think it's a pretty interesting thing. I have one coming. I don't know when it's going to arrive, but I'll do a review on it. Somebody was already asking me about it today. So what else? I got the WeCreate conveyor today. I'm still waiting for the 40-watt WeCreate, but that one's also coming. And the F1 Ultra is in progress right now, which is also an interesting laser.
Have you heard anything from Longer about the gifting program?
No.
Now, they sent me a thing this morning. I haven't gone all the way through it. They're going to have since I already have all their products, they want to get me enrolled in what they call a gifting program. But they didn't really say what it was. They're going to give me gifts. We're going to give our viewers gifts.
Well, hopefully it's the viewers.
That's all. Because it came direct from Longer, I wonder if you had heard anything about it.
Yeah, so to be honest, I might have gotten it, but I don't pay a lot of attention to the email I get from Longer because most of it comes from one of their marketing companies. And I generally only answer emails if they're coming from the company that actually is responsible for the thing they're trying to sell me. So it's possible it came from somebody who wasn't Longer, and I just didn't pay attention to it.
Yeah, I think it was. In fact, I could probably look here.
Did it come? I got something today, and again, I didn't pay a whole lot of attention to it. But
it's called Partner Boost.
Oh, yes, I do have that one.
Yeah. Sorry. And I work with Z-Banks. I worked with them for years.
Yeah. Yeah, that's well, they don't support Longer anymore, right?
I don't believe so. That they're still doing King Rune in the 3D printer department. I think they Longer a switch to this other company.
Hey, Glitter Fart. Who else we got? HVAC A to Z. And I'll say Z because he's probably in the U.S. Hey, Stephen. Welcome back.
Hey, Steve. Good to see you. And by the way, Steve, got the Ham's beer going on, got the Ham shirt on tonight, going all retro, back 70s.
Oops.
Yeah.
Sorry. Okay, you click. I'm not clicking anymore.
Okay. I got to show the back of the shirt then, I guess. See if I can get this on the camera. I don't know if that's showing up.
Yeah.
So that's some of the things I make just for my own use, but we do a lot of T-shirts, and then people always want to buy these. I say, I can't sell these to you. You know, it's a copyrighted image, and I don't have the license to sell this, but I like these old retro things.
You can't like sell them out of the back of a pickup truck or something?
Well, I suppose I could get away with it for a while, but if it was a close friend or something like that, yeah, I could probably get away with it. But to just put it out there on the website or something, I wouldn't do that.
No, I'm a little neurotic. Oh, my wife is she used to do a lot of intellectual property stuff, and basically terrified me. So I have an aversion to using copywritten stuff as a general rule. I certainly would never sell anything that has a copyright on it. There you go. He likes the retro beer.
Yep. Hey, Steve, I've even got the, see if I can get the can out here. I've even, right now they've got the retro cans.
1960 style.
Yep,
70s.
60s, 70s style. So, yep. And since this is a beer I started on way back in the 70s. Interesting story. When I probably shouldn't reveal this, but I will anyway. Some of the viewers might get a kick out of this. When I was 16, I liked beer. Of course, drinking age in Illinois was 19 at the time. But if you went into this one certain bar and you went up to the bar and you gave them an empty can, they'd refill it without asking for an ID. So what we would do was go around behind in the trash pile and grab some cans and get in the front door when they were real busy on Friday and Saturday night and just walk up to the bar and say, hey, I want another one of these. Hey, we got the Viking woodworker.
Viking has arrived.
What's up? All right. How are y'all?
Good, you?
Wonderful.
Thanks, Stephen. Are you done putting up fences now for a while?
Fences?
Well, you said you were doing a fence there a few weeks ago.
Oh, yeah. We finished that, I think, the next day. I'm building houses now.
Well, we don't have enough houses on the planet, apparently, so that's a good thing.
Oh, yeah. I'm trying to figure out how to share this.
That's actually what I was working on this past week was fencing. And running one of them gas-powered post hole augers that two people are supposed to run, and then you do it by yourself. and when you're 67 years old, that really sucks.
Oh, yeah.
Hey, Jeremy. I've been working on I'm doing some modifications to my CNC because I want to put my rotary in. I want it to be able to lower it into the table and then raise it up when I need it.
Oh, well, Daniel there.
He vanished. And so I'm making the mechanism for that, and I'm trying to do the Star Trek-y thing and make it all power so I can do the nice smooth rise out of the table. I'll shoot a short or something when I get it finally working.
Yeah, what shoulders? Yeah. I can tell you what, after doing 9 post holes with that 8-inch auger on that thing, I was really sore the next day. Yeah, I barely remember when I was 16.
Yeah.
I'm 67, but it's hard to remember when I was 16.
So is 71 the age you're supposed to start forgetting things? Because I've been forgetting things for the last 20 years.
Well, the things you remember that you did when you were 16 are the really stupid crap. That's what you remember.
Yeah, the things that probably should have gotten you arrested.
Yeah. Yeah. So I had an interesting order this week for some coasters for a VFW, and they wanted, so I get this to show good.
Oh, nice.
These are this is laminate sublimated onto ceramic tile. They had to do 50 of these.
Sweet.
Right on.
Now they're it's real popular with the vets down at the VFW. That one, and then my other project were these laser engraved coasters.
The white paint method.
Yeah, Mickey tile white. Oh, we got one more yet. We're talking about projects, and these I had to do complete with the laser cut coaster holders. And that are these the speech style palm trees. I had quite a few orders for these too.
Are they painted?
This is
vinyl,
laser engraved white paint or titanium dioxide. I didn't use white paint on these.
How'd you get it so black?
Just put a cork back on them. I don't know. It was a setting. I did this on the S1.
I'll have to try that.
Yeah, it was
Usually
just,
with white, usually with white color, like a graphite color.
Yeah, I mean, they come out real good in black. So
Yeah, that's black. Huh.
I don't remember what the setting was offhand, but that was on the X-Tool S1.
Yeah, that S1 is a nice laser.
I haven't tried these on the weak read. I guess I could have, but I had it all set up to do on the S1, and I need to do a lot of them. Now, the coaster holders, these here are 1/8" plywood. These were cut on a longer B1. And I did them like en masse. I mean, I made a ton of these at a time.
Oh, here. HVAC A to Z is just trying to terrorize me now.
This is, I mean, for anybody that's watching out there and you're looking to like get into a business doing this, all of these things I just showed here, this was not really advertised. This was just word of mouth. And normally when I get big orders for things like that, it's from one of the craft shops I supply, or, you know, an individual wanting to do a bar bathroom with ceramic tiles. I get a lot of those anymore. But if you're just getting into this, get out there, you know, do a few things. You know, people will start talking about you, and they'll beat a path to your door, more or less.
Yep, that's the same thing I've discovered. I don't make volume like that usually, but people come to me because somebody else told them that I did something for them.
Yeah, go to Detroit. I like that.
Yeah, I've been to Detroit once.
We do that in Seattle as well.
The last time I was in Detroit was about 1967. Haven't been back.
Get lost, wind up in Detroit.
We
really got lost.
We toured the Ford motor plant back then and watched them make Mustangs. That's the only time I've been to Detroit.
Are you talking about my trees in the back, litter fart, or my actual hands?
Well, it might have been my palm trees.
Or your palm trees. Oh, yes, your palm trees. Somebody asked me if this is my new studio, if I had a green screen back here. It's like, nope, this is all real back here.
Yeah, Daniel's trying to work on getting his live stream going.
He's trying to get back. Oh, is he? Oh, he's telling his people about this live stream, I assume.
Yeah. He did some nice work on some honeycomb earrings for his daughter.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah, you're big on the honeycombs.
Yeah, I do the meat thing, but yeah, he's got he was working with his laser. He got a couple little projects off of it.
So talk about these palm trees a little bit. This is a combination of graphics from different things. And part of it's AI. The little beach chair and the umbrella is AI, and I had fun with that. But the palm trees are the left and right are actually the same graphic. It's just one of them is flipped. So you have the same graphic on each side, just one of them flipped over the other direction.
What did you use for your AI generation? Just like
some little online
Mid-Journey or something.
Yeah, I didn't even really pay any attention. I said, I want a beach chair with an umbrella, and this thing popped up. Oh, that's perfect.
Yeah, I use Kittle for all that stuff now. It's all in one place, and then I can just paste it all in. But
well, I was going to go to Kittle, but we were actually up at the campground, and I had a crappy internet connection.
Yeah, so that is the one downside of any web service is you need an internet connection. Polywog woodcrafts. Are you Canadian by any chance? Because polywog is a very Canadian kind of term.
We have polywogs around here. They swim in the water.
I wasn't sure if
I live by the river.
I thought in the U.S. they called them tadpoles or something.
Often.
Yeah, the catch and release. That's I'll tell you what. If you're in Mexico, they don't have a catch and release. Don't screw up in Mexico.
One of many reasons not to go to Mexico, and all apologies to anybody who's from Mexico on the call.
Okay,
there's no water in Mexico City anymore.
the what I used on these last batch of tiles was titanium dioxide and water, and put it on with an airless sprayer. Let it dry and did the engraving, and then just washed it off. Otherwise, I use Rust-Oleum matte white, but then I need to wash it off with acetone.
So you used water instead of alcohol?
Yeah, the water it mixed fine.
Yeah, it's not a mix. It's how long it takes to dry if you use water.
Oh, it dried pretty quick.
Oh, yeah. Jeez, everybody's talkative tonight. This is a good thing. Yeah, Roger's background he's actually got a green screen.
Yeah. Now, I actually do have a green screen, but I figured out it was too much a pain in the ass to use. But all the 3D printers are quiet tonight. No background noise, although that side, other side, that side over there. That project just finished a little while ago. Oh, Daniel's back.
He's back, but he looks surprisingly unhappy. Hey, Warrior Wonder Woman's back. Oh, just Warrior Woman. Well, she might be Wonder Woman too. Who knows? South Adirondacks. Okay, well, close enough. That's Pollywog territory too, I'm sure.
The Adirondacks, isn't that where them chairs come from?
Yeah, well, actually, those are actually designed not too far from me, the original one. That business was actually for sale this year. The home of the original Adirondack chair. And, it actually doesn't come from the Adirondacks.
The opinion my wife and I have of every Adirondack chair we've tried, they're not comfortable.
The only ones I've seen that are comfortable, at least here, are sold by Costco.
Yeah, the cops in Mexico, the best thing to do when they want to see your license is have a $50 bill kind of folded up underneath the license. You didn't hear it from me.
I never carry cash anymore.
Damn it, man. What the hell?
Well, when you're in a foreign country, it always helps to have a little bit of folding money with you.
Yes.
Even if it's a couple hundred pesos, just kind of have it folded up under your license and you'll be good to go.
Yeah, Kittle's pretty nice. It's I think started out I think still primarily a graphics design tool for things like posters and stuff. But I did have a conversation with them about using it as a maker tool, so they're getting a little more open to that. It's an emerging market for them, we'd say, though.
I'm waiting to get till Kittle gets her scaling going because it's so hard to scale anything.
Well, it's hard to scale dimensionally, like with dimensional accuracy. You can scale easy enough, grab a corner of something and scale it. But
yeah, if I want to have something, 20 millimeter by 20 millimeter, it's kind of tough.
So that's coming.
Can y'all hear me?
We're getting an echo off of you. Yeah, we're getting an echo off of you, though.
A bad one?
Yeah, it's like you're in the Grand Canyon.
Let me see. I muted you. Yeah, it went away.
Is it still echoing?
I don't know.
How's that?
It seems to be okay. Seems to be okay now.
Cool. Sorry about the confusion.
Warrior Woman is welcoming you.
Hey, Catherine, how are you?
And here you go. The world is a better place. I assume that's because Viking showed up. But
no, it's because his name's Glitterfart. Anybody with the name Glitterfart makes the world a better place.
There you go. I don't think it matters, actually, whether you use a laptop or a desktop. There's so little CPU required to run a job on a laser. Because most of the time, it just generates the G code and fires it over to the laser. So it's really laser.
A $200 laptop.
Yeah, that's all you need. A lot of guys, and I get the question all the time, how powerful a laptop do I need? Or I need a gaming laptop? Or if you're just going to run your laser, your 3D printer, You don't need any of that. Find something cheap on eBay or at a pawn shop.
Yeah, you
Yeah,
need something
you're good to
that
go.
can push pixels to the screen and has a USB port on it.
You know, unless you're doing video editing or something like that, you don't need a real high-powered CPU.
There, see, Daniel has to turn down the volume. It's just his natural voice. He's got a booming voice like the Vikings.
The man has presence.
Hey.
Another vote for your shirt, Roger.
Yep. Ham's beer. Love the Ham's beer.
Yeah, I did the video on Matt Board. It went live at midnight last night.
And I have done chipboard before. It works just fine.
Yeah, chipboard works.
I mean, and for all that matter, whatever your latest Amazon purchase came in, cut something out of the box. I mean, it's good practice.
Yeah, the cardboard boxes are great because they're free, and you're usually trying to make them into smaller pieces to get rid of them anyway. So,
Viking Wind. I like that name.
ooh. You're shellacking your flag? Isn't there some law against that?
Not yet.
Yeah, if you're just gonna upload a file to run, you don't need I mean, you could use an old, you could use a laptop 20 years old, and as long as
Yeah.
it's still running Windows or if you're on the PC platform, it'll work just fine.
Yeah, even if you're creating your design in Lightburn, it still doesn't use much horsepower. So any basic laptop or desktop will work.
Am I
We were talking
buffering?
about this last week that you generate the file and then just push the file over, and then the machine does it all locally. So it's not like the laptop is driving the printer.
Yeah, it's really just a download pipe.
Yeah, I'm looking at this comment here. If you're crossing the border down there, especially like in Laredo or down by Tijuana, you can get some interesting officials down there. We our trips to Mexico, we go quite a few times a year. We fly into Cancun, and I happen to know that as you leave the airport through customs, they will check every 20th person and go through all their luggage. So I always look ahead and see who they grab. Then I count the people, and I make sure we are either ahead of the 20th person or behind them. Because when they tear through all your luggage, they don't pack it back up.
Thanks, Warrior Woman. That was a fun video. I would have actually brought that. I think I showed it last week, the layered image. I would have brought it again tonight to show people, but somebody was in my shop yesterday and looked at it and went, "Oh, this is nice," and took it.
I didn't even see the video today. I got to go back and watch that.
Yeah, it's just another. I like these when people ask me about certain materials, and this particular one was matte board, the stuff they use for pictures, and asked a bunch of questions, and I went, I don't know, but this sounds like an interesting thing to try.
Yeah,
It turns out matte board is actually really nice to work with.
you're very watchable.
Oh, if only that were true at the beach.
You're a little pale for the beach.
Yeah, well, I can get sunburned on a sunny winter day or a cloudy winter day even.
That's how we used to always find the Canadians out on the beach. It'd be 65 degrees and the beach is filled with Canadians.
Oh, yeah,
I turn purple in the sun.
I'm not familiar with a 2-tree CNC, but
yeah, the TTC 450. It's a marital router. What's that?
I know what a marital 8 is.
Oh, it must be a Makita router, and autocorrect solved the problem.
Makita.
I think there is a 65 millimeter adapter for the 450. I don't remember if it comes in the box though. If I mean, you've got one here. You're looking at it. Presumably, it's used. I wouldn't use any router without at least a trim router on it. So, like those little spindles, the 500-watt one isn't too bad, but they're not nearly as good as a thing designed to actually carve through wood. So,
Yeah, I converted my Analex to a trim router, and I'm going to convert my 4040 Reno Genmitsu to a router I actually picked up at Lowe's on clearance.
Yeah, I
Probably
got a
should have
couple of
bought
those.
more of them. I could have sold them
Yeah.
on eBay, but
yeah, I added a trim router to the 4030 Pro VXL as well, and it's just like a completely different router, like at CNC. It's just amazing now. So
yeah, and since I put the trim router on my Analex, I can actually do aluminum pretty easy.
I assume that message is for Daniel.
Yes.
Say something. No, can't hear you. You're whispering.
Nope.
We have to at some point get to Daniel's S1 experience now. Yeah, that's Daniel's internet connection.
How's that?
Yeah, there you go.
There you go.
Daniel's
Okay.
internet connection is one very thin strand of copper wire.
Yeah, right. It seems like it. I love the X1 or the S1.
S1. Yeah, you like it better than the Elegoo?
Way better.
Yeah, it's in a completely different space for sure. It's much more commercial.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. I have I have a Creality Falcon 2 Pro 60 watt sitting on the floor in my shop for the last 2 weeks. Well, I actually assembled it. I haven't powered it on yet, but
They reached out to me last week wanting to send me something.
yeah, well, you see, you've made the mistake of publishing a video where you review a laser. Now there's like 300 companies who are going to start sending you things.
I've had like 4 of them.
Yeah,
Longer.
Be selective.
Yeah, Watson wants to send me this big ass CNC machine, but I don't have anywhere to put the damn thing unless I put
you
it.
You can tell them to put it in my shop.
I don't know if they ship to Canada.
Oh, everybody ships to Canada.
Previous
I
question.
ship to Canada. It's expensive. My God.
Previous question there was directed to Steve about using a 5-watt for matting.
Oh.
That works just fine. I've done it before.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've been looking at one of those longers that Roger mentioned last week. It's on my short list.
Speedos.
Which one, the Ray 5 or the B1?
Oh, that's details, man. I was going with there's a $300 one and there's a $500 one.
Okay. Well, which one are you looking at? The 300?
I'm probably going to start with the 300.
Yeah, that's the Ray 5.
The 500 one's got all the kit to it, so the exhaust and whatnot.
Yeah, they're both great lasers. For the money, they're like one of the best, actually. I mean, they're not perfect, but they're priced right for what you get.
Well, this question here about Speedos. You don't want to see a 67-year-old guy in Speedos. Maybe Daniel might want to try that. Not this guy.
You just have to go to the right beach, because if you go to the right beach, there's like everybody who's 67-year-old German guys will be wearing Speedos.
I mean, I've been to Orient Beach and St. Martin, the nude beach, and I know about all that, but still, that's not. I don't think the wife would approve if I started running around in Speedos. Of course, around here, we don't call them Speedos, we call them a banana hammock.
Yes. Signs and walnut. Yeah, you can certainly use the 450 it's a starter laser. Like, it's a high-end consumer laser, higher end, we'll say, from a just an output perspective. You put a Makita router on it, it'll get a lot better. Although the one caution there is Makita router is quite a bit heavier, so you got to make sure you're not going to get any weird vibration. But once you get it on put together, you could certainly do walnut signs.
I guess it kind of depends on what kind of extrusion they use on the x-axis.
It's all like channel, so it's pretty solid. But the gantry is the thing that'll matter, and I think with careful balancing of your Makita router, you could probably make it work just fine. I mean, it's probably going to be okay anyway, but here we go. The real woodworking discussion again. keep digging that one up because it stirs the pot. I did have this discussion a couple of weeks ago with the Wood Turners Guild local to me here, and that question came up: is CNC really woodworking? And it's like, well, sure, a table saw is woodworking. Why isn't a CNC?
They're just cutting wood.
Yeah, strategically cutting wood with higher accuracy than you can do it by hand.
Question there on using tempera paint. One of you guys could pop that up.
Where's that one? These questions are coming in a flurry here tonight.
About using tempera paint. Yes, I use it on glass, and when I put it on, I use an airbrush. If you try to put it on with a foam brush, it's going to take multiple coats. You're going to have a hell of a time with it. So The best way is to spray it.
I've used a foam brush, and it is a pain in the behind. Spray it if you can.
If you have an airbrush or an airless sprayer, and it's easy to clean up too, since it's water-based. It doesn't take anything to clean it up.
Thank God Daniel's internet connection dropped.
Oh, yeah, he's going to bust out the Speedos.
Smooth surface? Well, sure. Make sure it's smooth. Is this the question you just answered? Yeah.
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 I was going to say, it sounds like exactly the same question. Yeah. So like lasers, these entry-level CNCs are always on sale. And I'm sure if you talk to the sales department of any of them and said, I don't like your price, make it lower, they'd give you a deal. Yeah, the Ray 5 10 watt is a fabulous laser for engraving.
It's just reliable. I mean, it just works, and I've had one
like
for
270.
In fact, my Ray 5 is one of the first ones I ever made, and that it was like a introduction because Longer originally only did 3D printers. So when they came up with their laser, I was one of the first ones like pre-market to do demonstrations with it and do testing on it, and it just works.
There we go. Yeah, there you go.
New beaver.
Yeah, that's the true woodworker. The Roy Underhill of CNCs.
Yeah, in fact, we had a beaver get up on the shore up at our campsite on the neighbor's lot and managed to gnaw 90% through a 12-inch diameter basswood tree. We finally had to cut it down to keep it from falling on one of our campers.
You didn't want to wait and have a start a pool on whose camper was going to get hit?
No, it was so close to going on one of ours that we had enough disasters up there this past week. I could see if I can flip over and show you another one here. How do I do this with right there? So that's our pontoon boat, and that's our dock. And as you see on the end, it's all tore up. Well, we added some new sections to it, And of the dock brackets we bought, which were real high end, made by Tommy Docks, and I'm going to name their name because I'm really pissed off at them. 3 out of 4 of those welds failed on the brackets. And the wind, which wasn't really all that strong, just destroyed the end of our dock. So that was my my project for Sunday and Monday, was trying to get that resolved.
There you go, Conrad. There's the ultimate endorsement.
Right
Big
on.
Mix. Big Mix likes the Ray 5 too. I still have mine too. Like I've had it for 3-4 years.
And my Ray 5, I've modified to the 850 millimeter square work area, which takes a huge amount of room, but it's great for the big aluminum signs I do.
Because I keep telling myself I'm going to use it in place of a scroll saw, do like frets and wood engraving and that sort of thing on some other projects.
Well, I found out I use my lasers a lot more than I use my scroll saw, but when I get into things that are 3/4 of an inch and thicker, I'm still back to the scroll saw.
Yeah. This is going to be. I was going to do like overlays, like some box projects or some detail work around the edges of things.
Yeah, 10 watts are great for mostly engraving. You can cut a lot with them, but you're not going to cut through 3/4 inch plywood or something. If you want to do that,
right.
Yeah, if you want to cut through thicker wood, then get the 20 watt or the 40 watt if you got budget. But
now Luann plywood is actually quite easy to cut on a laser if it's like 1/4 inch or less. I mean, if you got a 10 watt laser and you got 1/4 inch Luann, you should be able to cut right through it.
Yeah, definitely some of the laser grade plywoods certainly you can cut easily with a 10 watt. Hardware store plywood is a different thing sometimes.
Well, yeah, if you go
glue in it.
If you go to the home store and you get like a Luan underlayment, 1/4 inch underlayment, which I use a lot of for especially around Halloween for Halloween signs, I cut that on my X-Tool D1. It's a 10 watt, and I mean just all day.
Yeah, that's only 1/8 inch though, right?
Pardon?
That's only 1/8 inch though.
1/4 inch.
Oh.
Well, it's not quite 1/4 inch. It's hair under, but
yeah, that's because it's really metric.
Yeah, from Home Depot, it should still be the same stuff. It's 1/4 inch, and if you got a 10 or 20 watt laser, you should be able to just sail right through it.
Yeah, that, and also make router templates. At like a 1/4 inch or 1/2 inch ply.
Yep. Yeah, it'd be good for that kind of stuff. Well, 1/2 inch might be touch and go with the 10 watt, but you can do multiple passes too, right?
Well, if you're going with 1/2 inch, it's better to have a 30 or 40 watt.
Yeah.
So you don't get that concave edge.
Fair enough. And apparently I've seen that you don't wind up with one laser, you have an array of lasers.
Oh yeah, you can't just settle for one.
No,
I have one.
At last count here, I have 16 lasers. I don't use them all at once, but I have 16 lasers.
Yeah, I have quite a few. I have a bunch of them in storage just because I just don't have room for a lot of stuff. I tend to keep the 3 or 4 most recently reviewed ones in the shop, and I use them, put them through their paces, sometimes through hell. But when something new comes in and I need more room, I tend to put them in storage or donate them.
Yeah, the on this here about in metal, the blue diode at that 415 nanometer wavelength does not do metal, period. You can do a little bit of etching on stainless steel if it's got a high nickel content, but that's about it.
Yeah, well, so I don't understand this statement, Glitterfart. You won't get 1200 watts out of a diode laser. You might use 1200 watts on the input side, but
yeah, on the output side, you're 60 max.
Yeah, but these 8 laser heads they range from 48 to 60 or 70 watts now. While the 70 watt ones, I think, have 10 lasers in them, 10 diode lasers. They just get so big, though. That's the problem. They're running into problems of physics now.
Well, if you've got 1/4-inch gaps, there's a focus problem there.
Seriously.
Yeah, you need to check your focus. Your kerf should not be anywhere near that.
Yeah, 1/4 inch is huge.
That sounds like
Even
the
an
laser's
eighth,
just
even an
too
eighth
far away.
inch is, yeah. But I'm surprised you'd get enough power to cut a 1/4 inch gap.
That would have to be. You need to lower your laser head. It's too far away.
Yeah, but to get that, it would have to be a foot away. Something's not right there. Here we go. Yeah, the next wave is, I can't believe they're still trying to make more powerful diode lasers.
Pretty soon, them laser heads are going to be the size of a trash can.
Well, these ones, these diodes they're more than 6 watts, so you can get basically more power in the same space. But yeah, I had this 60 watt Creality Falcon 2. The laser head is it's like carrying a football. Like, it's big.
And you run into a heat problem. I mean, the heat dissipation on something like that you're going to have major fans and major heat sinks. And it's just going to keep getting bigger and bigger.
Yeah, well, that's the challenge, right? And then reliability goes down accordingly, right? Because you've got 10 times the problems.
Yeah, send Steve up to Canada.
Well, he's welcome anytime. We'll give you some good beer. Snap.
Is that some Molson?
No, there's a lot of beers here that are like 9-10%. You don't drink too many of them.
Getting back to this cut with that wide curve, it's got to be a focus issue. Absolutely has to be a focus.
Or a really messed up lens.
Yeah.
But if you change the lens, that's not the problem. Yeah, you'd have to send us some photos or something of what it looks like. And
I can let me grab one of my poster holders here. This is done on 1/8 inch plywood. It's done on a 10 watt laser, and it's done in one pass.
Mm-hmm.
And this has Luan. I mean, it's from Home Depot. It's Luan plywood. It's just, craft plywood. It's cheap stuff. And one pass, 10 watt laser, and, small curve. And I don't have gaps on my boxes anywhere. Everything works just fine. So it's got to be a focus issue.
Yeah, well, 10 watt laser beam size is probably like 0.08 or something. 0.08 by 0.1 probably for a 10 watt.
Yeah, projector diodes, they'll crank up some heat.
Yes.
Big time.
Yeah, they can't be cheap though. If you put 6 of those into a laser module, the thing is going to be $3,000.
Yeah, that's right. The lasers, LEDs, and I shouldn't say laser. The LEDs and the LED projectors they're high power, and they create a tremendous amount of heat. We've used them up at the camp to do movies at night on bed sheets, but it works. Yeah, the 1/8 inch on a Sculpt one or any 10 watt laser, I mean, you should be able to sail right through it.
Yeah, even a 5 watt laser will cut through 1/8 inch.
Yeah. Yeah, D1's a good laser, X tool. I mean, I've got two of them. One's have the extension on it, and the other one I use constantly. In fact, that's what I cut the coaster holders I was showing. That was done on X tool D1.
Like this is this a D1 or a D1 Pro? Because they haven't sold the D1 for quite a while.
Well, mine's D1 Pro. Both of them are, but
yeah. I like the D1. That was kind of my first experience with a really good diode laser. Because a lot of the ones up to that point they looked like science projects. And I used that laser quite a bit. Geez, Glitterfart, you've only been here for half an hour.
Hey, I'm the token old guy here, so I know I'm the oldest one on this. So,
well, I'm pulling a close second, I think. Not too close, hopefully. No offense, Roger.
Well, with as hot as it is up here, I'm gonna have to turn the air on pretty soon, or start using mop and glow up here. This is getting pretty shiny.
I had to turn my air conditioner on today. 2 pass sometimes.
Yeah, 300 millimeters per minute at 100% power. Shoot that 1 pass.
Yeah.
On a 10-watt laser.
Although the advantage of doing lower power and 2 passes is you don't get so much charring on the sides.
That's true.
I've been meaning to do a video on that because it's to basically refute the fact that you need like a 100-watt diode laser to cut 2x4s, because no one wants to do that anyway. But to cut thicker material, it's better to do lower power and go faster and do multiple passes than try and hog through it in one.
And definitely have your air assist.
Yes.
And the honeycomb board underneath makes it even better. You'll have less charring on the backside. And if you're going to cut 2x4s, I've got a miter saw that does that real well.
Yeah. So speaking of air assist, when I was doing the this mat board video, all the cutouts for it, I did a material test on the S1, which is the laser I used for it, and the Falcon 2 40-watt laser. And the 40-watt laser was cutting through that stuff without any smoke residue at all, unmasked. And on the S1, there was a bit, and the only conclusion is the air assist on the Falcon 2 Pro is a whole lot better, because it was like it looked like the edges were cut with a knife as opposed to a laser. Not that the S1 was bad, but it was noticeably better with the Falcon 2 Pro.
Yeah, the air assist makes a huge difference. I'm going to flip over to one of my ones I've shown on here before, these little castles I make. This is done with air assist. And you see there's almost no charring or scorching on the top. There's none on the bottom because I'm doing this on honeycomb board. And this is also on 1/8-inch plywood. And it's done 1 pass.
So that's a B1, right?
Yeah.
Did you run into air assist problems with that? Like, did you modify the nozzle?
No, not at all. But I don't use their little pump they send with it. I use my shop air.
Oh, okay, that's why. Because the on the B1, the air assist is a little wanting.
You know, the pump they send with it is it's basically an aquarium pump.
Yeah, they're all aquarium pumps.
Yeah, but I've got a huge air compressor. I've got an air dryer and everything because I shoot paint and gel coat and fiberglass. So, and I use a plasma cutter, so I can't have water in my air. So I've got water extractors and air dryers. So I just use my shop air. I do the same thing in my CO2.
Yeah, I should actually be using. I have a more aggressive pump in my CO2 air pump, but I should use my shop air actually. Oh, the other thing I wanted to mention, last week I mentioned that the S1 when I was asking to cut rectangles was cutting triangles. Did a bit of research, and there's actually a bug in. Well, I'm not sure where the software bug is, whether it's in the S1 or in Lightburn, but the Lightburn guys have a fix for it. and it never used to do that until 1.6 or 1.58, whatever the last 1.5 one was.
1.6 is the latest, and I haven't done the upgrade yet.
Yeah, it was definitely happening in 1.6. They claim it's going to be fixed for 1.7, but I don't know. If I have an S1, I'm going to use XCS anyway, for the most part. So just to take advantage of some of the features. But that was the problem. The fix, by the way, was to go into the settings and basically tell the laser it's doing perforated cutting. And the on time was like 0.1 second and the off time was 0.01 seconds. And it still it cut straight lines. So if you have an S1 and you're getting triangles out of light burn, you can fix it. It's a hack, but eventually either light burn or Xtool will fix the problem.
Well, the D1 2 years ago, that should be the D1 Pro. They
Yeah,
sold the original D1 for probably 3 or 4 years ago. I like that 110 watt. Yeah, that's the input side. It's 10 watt laser.
Yeah. Well, that might be a typo. Yeah, it's probably a 10 watt laser. That was a good laser. If you got it 2 years ago and you're just taking it out of the box now, put it to some use.
Yeah, I've been using mine constantly, and I haven't worn anything out on it, either one of them.
Yeah, I haven't really used my D1 Pro. Well, for 2 reasons. Since I put the extensions on it, it's just too big for any space that I have in my workshop. And now that I have the S1, I just use that. Yeah, V, do another test, and if you still run into weird problems, send a photo. My email address is in the description of any video that I do, or send it to Roger.
Yeah, you can send it to either of us. To me, it sounds like it's a focus issue, or there's something literally wrong with the head.
Yeah, but it'd be interesting to see. The D1 and the D1 Pro, mostly marketing.
That and limit switches.
Yes, you get limit switches with the D1 Pro, and the D1, I don't think they made did they make a 20 watt D1 or
no? The 10 watt D1. Yeah. You get into the D1 Pro, it goes up to 20.
Yeah, well, now 40. Well, they had 40 for a while because my D1 Pro is a 40 watt. It was one of the early 40 watt lasers.
Wonder what happened to Daniel. We must have lost him there.
Yeah. He dropped it.
He couldn't cope.
Yeah, if you have limit switches, you have the Pro.
Yeah, if it's red, you have the Pro. If it's the slate gray color, it could be a Pro or a regular D1.
Both of mine are the slate gray color, but they're early models. But they both have the limits, and they're both Pros. Oh, got the shark. Spent some money.
It's a nice CNC.
Yeah.
Rick. Well, whether Rick is okay or not, the reason he's not here tonight is because he had to go and do he was the expert in a I guess a court thing. He had to go to court tonight to talk
he's in night court.
Yeah.
That's what I call it. So I remember the TV show.
It's back again.
No. Oh yeah, I saw that with John Larroquette. Oh.
Yeah, he's still in it, and what's her name? Melissa Rausch is the judge.
Yeah.
$2010. Wow.
Yeah, that's getting back there.
That's vintage. Yeah, I've looked at those more than once and went, oh, I can buy 2 of some other CNC for the price of one of those.
Yeah, I've looked at the Sharks too, and I thought, just no.
Yeah, Night Court was a classic. The original.
Yeah.
I haven't seen the new one, but yeah, well, this is the thing, right? Good tools and they last forever. The only thing you might not get, I don't know. Well, I guess if you can get a post processor for something like Vectric VCarve or Aspire,
Well,
it's just as good as any other CNC today.
my whole thing with in my videos, even I don't script anything. It's just all off the cuff. I mean, when I shoot a video on doing something, maybe I'm doing an unboxing or a demonstration or something. There's no scripting. There's no rehearsal. If I screw up, I show it all.
Yeah, I don't script things per se. I outline the things I want to talk about and get to them.
Yeah, I have kind of an outline I jot down, but as far as an actual script of how I'm going to do the video, no, I don't.
Yeah, I mean, if I screw up something really big and it's, something that's integral to the video, I'll talk about it, but usually I'll just hack out things like that. Oh, there you go. He's using VCarve. Yeah, if you have a post processor. Oh, by the way, I have I talked to a guy who owns a company called Rapid Change. He makes a really entry-level tool changer for CNC. And I was looking for a tool changer, and the problem with tool changers is they're all like $3,000+ and it just seemed like an awful lot of money for to replace my wrenches with something automatic.
That's why I don't have one.
Well, so this guy has a different technique, and it requires a little more setup, and it seems a little experimental to me, but I'll see. He's going to send me one. But it looks like a really good idea, and his high-end one is like $600, but you can get one for $300. So I have a video coming up on that too at some point in the not too distant future. If it works, it's really appealing because it is so much cheaper than anything else.
Yeah, I'd be interested myself in seeing that because that tool change is a pain in the ass.
Yeah. Anyway, I reached out to him and said, hey, I happened to notice this while I was looking for other tool changers. And he said, well, let's get on a call. So we spent an hour and a bit talking over a Zoom call, and really nice guy. He's very smart on the CNC side. And he said, yeah, I'll send you one and we'll have a look. So yeah, it's coming at anywhere from $300 to $600. It's a pretty amazing price if it works. Now, the way he does it is he adds a bunch of macros and a custom post processor for some CNCs. And what he does is you put a collet nut and a collet and a collet in with the tool in his little holders. And he actually brings the CNC spindle over and turns the collet nut onto it. And when he's done, he turns it off again. So no air required, no expensive, tapered collets or any crazy stuff. So it's kind of a neat idea.
Well, how does it tighten a collet?
It turns it.
I mean, tight?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I'll be interested in seeing that because, like I say, tool changes are a pain in the rear.
Yes. And the nice thing is, if you have something like a Genmitsu, like no tool changer vendor on the planet is going to make something for that, right? Because there's just no money in it for them. So
Yeah.
So he makes one for that. I have he supports a whole bunch of controllers, and he did all the hardware, and his son's a software guy and wrote all the macros for doing the loading and unloading of the tools. So it's kind of a neat idea. But
The next question up here about a Bamboo A1. If you're going to get into the Bamboo 3D printers, get the X Carbon. There's just no comparison to it.
yeah, isn't the A1? Didn't they recall the A1 actually because there was something they had to fix in it?
They had some boo boos with it. It was I think they released it too soon. I mean,
well, the A1 is basically like a regular CNC or regular 3D printer, right? It's nothing special.
well, if you can get the AMS to put on it,
Yeah,
there's a few other different things you can do. But as far as if you're going to get into a Bamboo high-end printer, get the X Carbon. There is just, and I'm not sponsored by them at all, but I've got one and I absolutely love it. And it's going to be replacing some of these Creality printers behind me here in the near future. The only downside of the Bamboo printers is they're damn loud, but they're also very, very fast.
this is not a problem, B.
Yeah.
I like that people are asking all kinds of questions.
Yeah, we just go with the flow.
Keeps us on our toes. Now you know his Shark is a vintage machine because it came with a CD. Do you still have a CD drive that you can read that in?
I've got an external one that I can put on my desktop. My laptop doesn't have one.
Thanks, B.
None of them do.
No.
Well, thank you, V.
I do have a CD drive kicking around somewhere on the off chance that I'm going to have to revert to something from 1990 and read it. I do have some CDs kicking around, and every once in a while they're like old classic games. Oh, he's running XP. All right. I read a thing the other day. They said basically if you have an XP machine running with any kind of an internet connection, it will be an hour before it's owned by somebody. So keep that in mind. If your CNC starts doing funny things, look at your XP machine and make sure it's still.
That's highly hackable.
Yes. Well, the hacking tools evolved while XP basically stood still, right? So
yeah.
And they haven't done any kind of service upgrade on the thing in about a decade or more. Yeah, XP was the first version of Windows that was actually usable.
Yeah, and if you're running XP, I mean, completely offline, not connected to the internet, you have nothing to worry about.
Yeah. Yeah, there's no reason for a CNC machine to be connected to the internet.
It might almost be easy enough to get it working on a PE disk. You'd have to get some USB support in there, but it's probably doable.
See, he was misleading. He actually uses Windows 10. I have a virtual machine with Windows XP in it because there's a few games I have from years gone by that only run in previous versions to Windows 10 or whatever was before Windows 10.
Well, getting into, connecting things to the internet and all that, and everybody's, worried about things. My X1 Carbon from Bamboo is the only 3D printer that I actually run in the cloud. It's all the other ones I do direct with micro SD cards. The Bamboo, I mean, I can be like up the campground or something and look on my phone and see how the printer's doing. It's a good deal. It's got a camera in it. And people are all worried about, security and, somebody from China is going to watch you walking around your living room naked or something. And well,
good for them.
Put some clothes on.
Yeah.
I'll be right back.
Coin engraving. Yeah, a 20 watt fiber laser is pushing it for deep engraving of coins. Now, interestingly, the F1 Ultra, they show deep engraving with that, and it's only a 20 watt fiber. So The very first question I had for Xtool when they said they were going to send me one was, "Can you send me the file you used to make that deep engraving?" And we'll see, because I'm a little suspicious that it's not as deep as they say it is. Yeah, to do deep engraving on metal like a coin, you really need at least 50 watts. 60 watts is better. 60 watts or more.
I don't have a fiber, so I can't offer any insight into it. Been offered, but just literally do not have the time right now.
But fiber lasers are fast, so it doesn't take much time.
Now it's me having the time to do anything with it.
Oh, inverted, you mean inverted
As a
left to
mirror
right,
image?
or inverted like things that it should stick out are actually dug in? The inverting, if it's left to right inversion, like mirror image, that's easy to fix in Lightburn. Oh, the image. So at the top of Lightburn, you'll see two buttons that look like two triangles sticking side by side. Click that and it'll invert it'll mirror image.
You'll either flip it left or right, or there's another one you can flip it up and down. I have that problem when if I create a file, and let's say I'm using a longer B1 and I create something in Lightburn, then I go to pull it into to use my X tool, because the homing position's in a different place. The image is inverted and mirrored, and I have to flip it.
Yeah, there's two buttons up in the toolbar in Lightburn that'll flip it. Yeah, 30 watts is the bare minimum, I'd say. You're going to end up doing a lot of passes, but you can do it. Like with a 20 watt, you'll get down maybe, well, it'll be less than a millimeter. It's probably going to be like half a millimeter is the deepest you're going to go. But with a 60 watt, depending on the coin, you can cut through it. But 30's not a bad place to start. If you find one cheap, 30's better than 20 for sure. Oh, okay. So yeah, you want to invert the color. Yeah, so you want to do a negative image of in Lightburn, and then engrave the negative image. And again, I think if you click on the image on your Lightburn canvas and like right click on it, you can go to image settings and you can invert it, or you can do it from the tool. I was going to say tool path, from the engrave path setting up in the window on the left side, in the frame on the left side. Yeah, there you go. 500 passes. It's a good thing they're fast. I did the one I did. I did one with a stallion, and it was raised. The horse was raised out of the material, and that one I did in 128 passes, and it wasn't bad. But you get it's diminishing returns after that. I didn't notice a whole lot of improvement with 256 passes.
Yeah, any more questions out there? Far away. Still wondering what happened to Daniel. I guess he got lost in the internet void or something there.
Are there storms rolling through the eastern seaboard today?
Now, we had some doozies here in the Midwest last night. There was one town, Greenfield, Iowa, literally got just wiped out. There's just nothing left of it. It was on the national news tonight.
Yeah, I saw some news footage of what's going on there, and it's like, holy cow. It's just insane. Hopefully anybody who's from, we do have some people from Iowa who join the call regularly, so hopefully they're okay.
Well, we're not all that far from it. We had all kinds of warnings and everything going on last night, but we had a couple power outages, but otherwise nothing. No high winds, no lightning, we didn't even get any rain out of it. We could have used it, but Fortunately, we missed all the nasty stuff.
Yeah. The only nasty weather I get where I live is hurricanes. But they're a sight to behold in themselves. I feel sorry for Conrad and anyone else who lives in Florida or along the East Coast further south, because it's just not a fun time.
Now we get tornadoes and derechos. And a derecho is what they call a land-based hurricane. We've had a couple of those here that have done some significant damage to things the last 20 years. Yeah, everything we had here is headed east.
Yeah, so I live, I don't know, probably 200 miles north of Washington, D.C., 250 maybe. And we're not getting any of this. I guess it's headed out to the Atlantic before it gets to my house.
That's probably a good thing.
I'm not upset. Yeah. We get about 2 thunderstorms a year here. And it's always like they're non-events basically. There's like 2 rumbles of thunder and that's kind of it. The ocean is a bit of an equalizer for low pressure.
Well, our big one here where I live was in 2008. We had a derecho that came through here with 120 mile an hour straight line winds, and it created some severe havoc. We were without power for almost 2 weeks there.
Do you have a generator?
Yeah, I'm running generators. I have guys greenhouses. I have to keep them running.
Yeah.
But yeah, and if you're supplying electricity by buying gasoline and running a generator, it's really expensive.
My generator runs on propane, which is probably like I have a whole house generator. Came with the house when I bought it, so I thought it was, a non-feature when I bought the house. But 2 weeks after we moved in, we had a hurricane here, Cat 3, and took out the power for 5 days. And then I appreciated the generator. However, after the refill of my 2 500-pound propane tanks, I didn't appreciate the generator quite so much.
Well, my generator runs on gasoline, and I have to keep it up. It's got a 15-gallon tank, but start buying 15 gallons of gas every 10 hours. Yeah, it gets expensive.
Yeah. My generator will run for about 7 days before I run out of gas, out of propane. Yeah.
Considering I'm an electrician, I should have one of those. I just never did it.
You probably know how to hook it up.
Yeah, I know exactly how to hook it up.
At least the electrical side, maybe not. Maybe not the natural gas.
I can even do the plumbing side. I know how to do all that. Just have never done it.
Yeah, there's no natural gas where I live because you can only dig down about 3 inches before you hit bedrock. So everything here is propane. All right, where's the laser questions, guys? Oh, here we go. V to the rescue. Yeah, I like the look of this P3. I think it's the fact that I love the fact that lasers are now enclosed is a thing, right? And this one, it looks a lot like a Rolly. So I'm pretty sure that's the market they're tackling. But the fact that it's got you can get a 48 watt diode laser and a 2 watt infrared laser in the same laser module. And yeah, if you're at craft fairs, as long as you got a fume extractor, it would be perfect for doing custom engraving while you wait. Yeah,
if you've got a power source at a craft fair and a class 1 laser where you don't have to worry about people looking at things or getting hurt, that's an ideal situation. The problem is with a lot of craft fairs is you can't get power.
Yeah. Just bring your own generator in.
Yeah. Well, they've got some pretty quiet little Honda ones now that don't make much noise that I've seen people use at swap meets. But
Yeah.
I
Be
don't,
okay if you're outside.
I don't do craft fairs and stuff anymore. I supply stuff to people that do them, and it's a good market. But I just literally don't have the time or want to go through the effort to do craft fairs anymore.
Yeah. Anyway, yeah, I like the P3. I think stay tuned. There's a couple of nice features with it, and let me just take a look here. It includes so in addition to the air pump, there was something else here that looked interesting. What was it? If I can get them to stop popping up windows. Oh, air purifier is part of the standard equipment by the looks of it.
I just wonder how well those really actually work.
So it's very like the X-Tool air purifier, the one that you can get for the F1. I used that one when I was doing my presentation to the Woodturners Guild here, and we ran the WeCreate through it, and it was fine. And I did a deep engraving on somebody handed me a set of salt and pepper shakers and said, "Hey, can you engrave on these?" And it was a pretty deep engraving and not a hint of smoke out of it. But other ones, the smaller ones, tend not to be as good. Now, X-Tool recently sent me the big air purifier, and I haven't taken it out of the box yet. I'm waiting to finish testing the F1 Ultra, and then I'll look at that. But theirs is unquestionably the best one I've tested. What else? The WeCreate one was so. Now apparently, with the WeCreate one, what they tell you to do is take the dense filter that they have on the top, the cotton filter, and tear it in half, like make it half as thick, and then the filter works better. It's like, this sounds dubious to me, but I guess they made it's too dense or something. So that one apparently works if you do that. But yeah, I've tested some of them, like the what are they called?
ComGrow?
Yes, ComGrow. Theirs is, it's better than nothing, but it's something, right? There's still, you can still smell quite a bit.
That's what I was going to say, because when I did the testing on it, I did it on engraving cedar, and you could still smell the smoke.
Yeah.
I mean, it wasn't like it was going to burn your eyes or anything else, but you could still smell it.
Yeah.
And another one that they had was with a built-in air purifier was the now the name escapes me. Flying Bear.
Oh, that's a Russian one, right?
Flying Bear had a laser that came with an air purifier built in, a little tube that hooked onto the head, and did a good job of sucking the smoke away and everything. But you could still smell it. Yeah. I mean, it wasn't. It was a class 4. It was open frame, but no, it wasn't the greatest thing.
Yeah, the best, the X-Tool, the small X-Tool one is the best one I've looked at so far. Almost like you basically can't smell anything with that. The only gripe I have about air purifiers is just the cost of running them, right? You can't run very long on a set of filters, and before you have to replace them, and it's quite a bit of money. So
yeah, my thing is with any of them is just blow it outside.
Yeah, if you can, outside is the best. Geez, we lost Conrad completely. Conrad and Daniel are both AWOL.
Well, Conrad's dog was barking there or something. So
Oh, it's only for a limited time. That'd be interesting to see. That one looks pretty small, so it'll be interesting to see how good it works. Because those small ones, there's just not enough filter in them to do an exceptional job. That's why I was shocked that the X Tool one worked really well, because it's fairly small too.
that's the same one with the one from Flying Bear. It's pretty small. It's built right onto the laser.
Yeah, there's some interesting technology in this P3. It's Core XY architecture. Like the geometry of the belts is Core XY, which they claim is more accurate. We'll see. Laser accuracy is not really that much of an issue, but yeah, it's nothing says new feature like a overly engineered belt system.
On the Core XY part, as far as the 3D printer goes, they are considerably faster.
Yeah. Well, where you'd get benefit is when you're cutting circles, right?
Oh, yeah. Or if you're doing on a 3D printer, if you're working in base mode, that Core XY is a huge plus. It cuts your time like in half.
Yeah. Yeah, I would only use a Core XY 3D printer now. I got 2 of them sitting on the floor right here. Just because you can get 600 millimeters a second out of them, right? Like they just boot along. But it'll be interesting to see what a laser does with Core XY.
You still got the acceleration and deceleration. So on a laser, I don't know. I'll have to see it to believe it.
Yeah, well, I'll see. I'll give it a try. I think it's probably coming in the next week or so. Might be next week, actually.
We got any more questions out there? Fire away. We're happy to answer them or make something up.
But yeah, I have all these laser reviews coming. That's why I wanted to get an actual project video out with the mat board stuff. I have another one ready to go. I just haven't had time to do it. Summer's here now, so half of my life is outside these days.
Well, I we're so busy with our greenhouse business that it's hard for me to get anything done. But one of the things I was reviewing was a LED floodlight, outdoor floodlight, one of the dusk to dawn things with a photocell, and I put one up at our campsite. I haven't released a video yet, and I no more than put it up and did the testing, and everybody along the river bank now wants one.
Oh, there you go.
So sold a couple of them. I actually did a video of putting a second one up right next to ours. So at nighttime when we fire them up, it looks like a baseball stadium. I should say water polo stadium because can't play baseball out in the river, but it's that video is going to come up soon. Another little off the wall thing I've got is attachment for the pressure washer that cleans concrete. So gonna try that thing out. Of course, then I've still got laser stuff to do, but just trying to find time to get all these things done. Plus the orders we're getting for laser grade projects is taxing my time.
Yeah, Stephen, I like to see my projects too. I don't get time to do that many of them anymore. Unless they're paying gigs. I used to have lots of time to just sit down and have fun. Unfortunately, my post-retirement hobby has turned into a job. And I'm soon going to demand a raise. My boss is cheap, though. And you made it back, Conrad.
I have. Yeah.
So we were looking at the Acmer P3. If you're looking for a new laser, that's a nice one too.
I'll check that one out.
One of their features is an aerodynamic design.
Oh, so it gets more distance when you're swinging out the window.
Yeah, you can put it in the back of a pickup truck, and it'll be able to keep cutting as you're driving down the road. Apparently, it's optimized for smoke extraction. I'm not sure aerodynamic is the right word for that, but they claim they extend the laser module life by 20%. I've never killed a laser module. I don't know. Have you?
No, I've never had one fail. I've had them get dirty. I've had them come unplugged. That was my problem with my Artur Laser Master 3. Was I had to do some little modification where the cable plugs into the top of the laser head. Because if I went all the way to the upper right corner, the laser come unplugged.
Whoops.
Which was frustrating as hell until I figured out what was going on.
Hey, they claim this P3 is 70% quieter than something. Could be a vacuum cleaner, but apparently they paid a little attention to the noise level too. Class 1, it's always a good thing.
I've never had an issue with my lasers being too loud. I got a few 3D printers that are pretty loud.
Oh, I have some loud ones.
I guess my B1 with the fan on it is a little loud.
Was I testing? I tested something, and the fan on the enclosure was like a jet engine. Like it was the loudest thing ever.
Oh, the Great Carbon enclosure's got one of them jet engine fans on it.
Yeah, the extended workspace Rolly is, the next step in evolution for them. I think everybody seems to like these things. So there's something to it.
Now, actually, Australia is on my bucket list to go there someday, but
it's one of the few places on the planet where I haven't been that I'd like to go.
Yeah, I like to go down there and Tahiti and New Zealand and get around in that area, but you can't get the wife to agree to a flight that long.
Yeah, I'm the only real concern I have is 9 of the world's most toxic snakes live there, and 10 of the world's most toxic spiders. Top 10, 10 of 10.
Yeah,
it's like, I don't want to have to look in my shoes to see if there's something trying to kill me in the morning.
I'm from Florida. I'm used to the spiders and the snakes and the alligators and the crocodiles.
Yeah, but an alligator hardly ever climbs in your shoe.
No, they don't.
Well, if you spend too much time in Arizona or New Mexico, you'll want to check your shoes for scorpions before you put them on.
Oh yeah, I was in when I was in the military, in the Army, in El Paso, Texas. Yeah, you did a boot check every day.
Oh yeah, maybe another place be Texas.
No,
laser head's hard to clean. No, not really.
No.
You basically got the quartz lens, which is all that should really ever get dirty. You should never have anything underneath that. And little isopropyl 90 alcohol, and not the good tequila. Just get some isopropyl alcohol, little Q-tip and a microfiber cloth, and you're good to go.
Yeah, don't be scared of the spiders and snakes.
Well,
this is like don't be afraid of bullets.
It's like the old Jim Stafford song. I don't like spiders and snakes, but I got what it takes.
Yeah, the brown snake is going to kill you, but you don't have to worry about it because you're going to die anyway.
Well, I think the one thing you might want to be more concerned with is the hordes of rats or the mouse stampede.
Oh, you think all the snakes would eat them?
Well, I've heard that the rabbit population in Australia will take over and come after you.
Yeah, so I don't have tornadoes where I live, but we do have bears. I live in suburbia, so it's wilderness basically, but it's There's a few bears around. Coyotes.
Well, where I live, we do have tornadoes, but the only bears we have are Chicago bears, and they suck anyway.
Yeah, they're no danger to anybody.
Yeah.
They're for much fight.
And I'm a big Bears fan, but that's the way it goes. Keep them as pets? No, not
Hopefully-
around here.
Hopefully, you don't keep like brown snakes as pets. Yeah, anybody who's 49 can say they've never been bitten by a spider or a snake because they're still alive.
Well, I've been bit by spiders before, and I was bit by a snake, but it was a corn snake, so it wasn't poisonous.
Couldn't stand the flies.
Most spider bites, even the ones that have any kind of effect, mostly are effectively a bee sting. So there are certainly ones that are bad, and there's those that have an allergic reaction to them. For the most part, it's bee sting. Now, a venomous snake is a whole different animal, but
Yeah, I wouldn't want to hit a kangaroo with anything, really.
Well, my question here is with the kangaroos, like here, if you hit a deer and you kill it with your car, of course, screw up your car or your truck or whatever, you can take it home and butcher and cook it if you want. Can you do that with a kangaroo in Australia? I don't know if you'd want to have that smoked or grilled or braised or how you'd want to cook it up.
Would you want to eat a kangaroo?
no, you braise the tail and you turn it into wallpaper paste.
What would I eat a kangaroo? Hell, I've eaten elephant before. And I was at a wild game feed where we ate lions. And one of the guys from Africa looked at me. He says, "You're crazy." He says, "Where I come from, people don't eat lions. Lions eat people." But I said, "I don't know. It's all right. A little tough, but
No, thank you.
well, I just wonder if you can eat a kangaroo."
So my wife bought kangaroo meat for one of our dogs because he's got all kinds of weird meat allergies, and even he won't eat kangaroo. It must be bad. Oh, there we go. Apparently they're not. They're tasty.
No, I've never had that. I just was wondering, I have eaten a lot of different kinds of wild game. I've had moose and elk and bear and
Yeah, we can actually buy kangaroo here.
oh,
Camel too. Like I found that there's a grocery store not far from me that sells kangaroo, camel. It's like
I didn't think there was a lot of camels in Canada.
no, there's not a lot of kangaroos either.
Well, we got an emu farm not far from here.
Can you take a phone?
Yes, you can.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can export an SVG.
Yeah, when you go to save your file, just click on export as SVG, and you can save it as SVG, then pull it right into WeCreate. It's real easy.
It would be nice if some industrious software developer wrote a project converter, so convert a Lightburn file to a WeCreate or an Xtool file, or vice versa.
Well, I don't know. I'm all curious about trying to find some kangaroo someplace and trying to smoke it in my smoker and see how it goes.
You're still on the kangaroo. I'm telling you, man, my dog won't eat it. And he eats everything.
I would think camel would be a lot like horse.
Camels are just an angry animal, right? So, like, they have an attitude. The meat must be really tough on a camel. I have an Egyptian friend. I'll have to ask him. Although I think he told me once that Egyptians won't eat camel.
I can say only country in the world that eats its national emblem. While the United States national emblem is the eagle, and it's illegal to hunt them or kill them or do anything else there. What is it in Canada?
Our national animal? We don't really have one. The beaver, maybe. I'm
Beaver.
sure there's people who eat them, but it wouldn't be me.
No, I'm passing the beaver. That's
maple leaf.
beaver's a rodent. I'd pass
Yeah.
on that.
The irony is we probably have more bald eagles in Canada than you have in the US. I don't know. They're around my house here. I see them all the time.
No, now emu, I've had that. I've had emu burgers. Those are good.
Yeah, if you If you want 50 pounds of dark meat, emus are okay. It's a bit gamey. All right, we got to get back to lasers. You guys are making me, maple syrup. Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, and I do like when I come to maple syrup, it's got to be the real thing. I don't like the Aunt Jemima fake stuff.
The brown dyed sugar water.
Yeah, I don't like that, or the
Other flavor.
log cabin, or
Yeah, we do have a lot of maple syrup here. Thanks,
yeah,
Stephen.
thanks for joining us tonight.
There you go. Now he's getting hungry. He's going to go and run over a kangaroo just so he can eat something. I did see last time I was in Florida, I did see like an alligator roadkill on the road. I thought somebody dropped a purse.
Alligator is actually quite good deep fried. I've had that quite a few times.
Yeah, everybody says, "Oh, it tastes like chicken," but I don't know.
Well, not exactly. It's got a unique taste, but if it's made correctly, it's really good.
And anything you deep fry tastes like whatever you're deep frying it in. So
Yes,
that's the thing. You got to use fresh oil.
is this true?
Yes,
was your national symbol almost a turkey? That would have been so
Benjamin
ironic.
Franklin originally wanted to make it the wild turkey. The wild turkeys are actually very, very smart.
We have tons of them. Not where I live, but in where I used to live, they were just all over the place. They'd wander through my yard by the dozens. Somebody decided they needed to introduce them.
If you have a good roast cut from a bear and you smoke it over mesquite, long smoke it, it's really good. It doesn't taste gamey at all. It tastes a lot like beef.
No, can't do it.
Okay, I will actually say I did this once.
Laser engraved pancakes?
I laser engraved I made a pancake for my great granddaughter, the shape of a Mickey Mouse head, and laser engraved the eyes and the mouth on it.
Awesome.
Just for a fun thing when she was over one weekend.
So you did like you cooked it first and then laser engraved it?
Yeah, and it's low power and it's real fast. I did it with 5-watt laser, and I don't know, it was some crazy super speed and probably like 20% power.
I didn't know they had kitchen grade lasers.
Now they will.
I've also laser engraved a hot dog. You can do that.
Yeah, well, they got 3D printed chocolate stuff now, and
oh yeah,
I saw one. It was in a Kickstarter project, and I was going to approach them to say, "Hey, do you want a review of this chocolate 3D printer?" Because that would have been awesome. I'm sure it would be another appliance my wife wouldn't allow me to have in the kitchen, but
yeah, mine too.
How many chocolate printers do you need?
4 a.m. Yes.
Yeah, getting back to that crocodiles and alligators, you'd be surprised how many people think they're the same thing and they're not.
Nope. Completely different animal.
Yeah, wild turkey is good with Coke.
Mm-hmm.
I've never had a wild turkey with Coke. I would eat the wild turkey because it's just turkey, but
the whiskey. Wild turkeys are
the whiskey. Yes, yeah. Okay.
And that the American honey is just good right on ice.
We're digressing.
Well, I had a neighbor here give me a bottle of M&M bourbon.
Ugh.
I'd never heard it was made in Indiana. And it was actually quite good.
Did it have little chunks of candy in it?
No, it's M&M brand. It's pretty good bourbon. Never tried using stained glass.
So I've thought about doing like a faux stained glass with transparent acrylic, and I've just never gotten around to playing with it. But
Might be a good
Yeah.
project to try to take some stained glass and try to etch it and see
Oh,
how that would come
yeah.
out.
it would etch.
Can you edge it enough to crack it on the lines?
I don't know. Probably. Do a couple passes with a good clean cut. The problem is if you heat it too much, it'll break the whole glass, right? You can't put too much heat into it. I did I engraved a wine bottle. Fortunately, it was empty because about halfway through the engraving, the thing shattered on me.
Well, one of my experimental runs was the tempered glass cutting board you get from Dollar Tree.
Mm.
Was laser engraving one of those or etching it on my CO2, and it worked fine until I turned the power up too high. Then I had a whole bed full of what I call redneck diamonds.
Yeah, little cubes of glass.
And was that fun to clean up?
Yeah,
To drop down to,
too heavy for the vacuum.
well, it worked for the vacuum, but all the little redneck diamonds fell through the little holes in the bed. And I ended up taking that Monport 40 apart to clean everything out from underneath. Yeah, I like going off the rail.
Yeah, not too far off the rails though. There's a fine line between off the rails and in the weeds.
Now we always have a saying around here about which side of the tracks you come from. So
Well, you live near Chicago, right?
I am on the opposite side of the state.
Oh,
So I'm on the other side of the tracks from Rick.
because there's a lot of tracks in Chicago.
Yeah.
Every time I go to Chicago, there's just south of Chicago, there's a little town. I can't recall the name of it, but there's Conrad's Harley Davidson is there. And so I go up there to get some personalized t-shirts.
Oh, of course. Sorry, I had the gears had to grind there a bit before I went, oh, okay, of course. I was thinking, what kind of a store makes personalized Harley Davidson shirts? Conrad's, of course. Talk to Rick; he can make you some personalized ones. How can you be getting hungry when we're talking about broken glass and kangaroos?
Well, I'm still got the thing turning in the head here about trying to find some kangaroo meat to smoke. And
You'd be surprised; it'll be around somewhere. Like I
Yeah,
said, I mean, I live in the middle of nowhere, and I can go to a local grocery store and get kangaroo.
I mean, it's hard enough here just to find lamb.
Wow, it's the Midwest, right? You can only have beef.
Yeah, beef and chicken and pork. And if you go to the Hispanic markets, you can find some pretty good choices of chorizo. But otherwise, trying to find that in a lot of stores, it's hard to find.
See, I live in an ocean port town, so it's the gateway to the world, and everybody comes here. And
You should probably have a pretty good seafood market there then.
oh, well, if I ate seafood, yes, my wife eats seafood. Lobster is a big deal here. You can buy it, like you can go right down to the dock and buy it, right from right off the boat. But it's not my thing.
Well, yeah, lobster here in the Midwest is just like sky high.
Yeah, I would imagine. Well, it's pretty expensive here too sometimes, but it's down to, I don't know, I think it's like $5 or $6 a pound now.
Well, like if you want a crab legs here now, they're $25 a pound.
Kangabanger sausages. Hey.
There's a couple friends of mine. We were at work one day. We were sitting there. We were planning a day trip to go from Tampa up to not Maryland, New England. And we were just going to fly up there one day, grab some lobster, have dinner, and then come home.
It's a long drive for a lobster.
Yeah.
Never heard of kangabangers.
So you must have been in Maine then.
Yeah, Maine.
Maine lobsters. See, that's just across the Bay of Fundy from where I live.
The monster lobster.
Yeah, I've eaten lobster as a kid, but I just don't do seafood anymore.
Oh, I absolutely love seafood, and one of the things I just absolutely love is it's called camarones del diablo. It's a Mexican dish with shrimp, but to get the shrimp that big around here, they're like sky high. So when we're in Mexico, I'm eating the hell out of that.
The Keiru Kanga Bangas. Wow.
So are the Aussies on the metric system or imperial, or they got their own thing going on?
Oh, they're metric. It's only you guys and some little island out in the middle of the Pacific that still run the imperial system.
Well, I've got the advantage. I understand both systems real well, and I can't really convert them in my head too quick, but I understand both of them. So probably the last 20 years I worked out in the field, I worked with so many European instruments, and everything was metric. Yeah, metric.
Yeah, we switched. I started school in the imperial system, and then we switched to metric about halfway through. So I was probably in grade 5 maybe when we started to switch.
Well, metric is actually easier, but most people here in the U.S. don't want to. Oh no, I don't want that. That's foreign, and it's kind of like getting into the imperial gallon. I remember that from back when I was a little bit younger. We were up on Ely, Minnesota, and across the border up into Canada, and it'd be an imperial gallon.
Yes,
and it's
a couple ounces bigger.
Yeah, it's not that big of a deal.
Yeah, the imperial gallon.
Yeah, I think the only thing in the U.S. that's really metric is soda and cocaine.
In that order. Well, a lot of the car parts are metric too now.
What drives you crazy is when you get into one of the cars in the U.S. here from like the mid 80s, where some of it's metric and some of it isn't.
Yeah.
So you got SE and metric both, and
yeah, that's when they finally got a grip on globalization.
The only thing I know is that 10 millimeters is about a half an inch. You can't find either one of them.
Well, if you've got a 10 millimeter socket or a 10 millimeter wrench, that'll be the first one you will lose.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It'll land in that place where your extra stock is.
Yeah, here we go. This is the ultimate insult to the imperial system.
Yeah. 4264s.
So my vernier caliper has metric, but then you can go into regular thou, like thousandths of an inch, but then it'll also do fractions, and it goes down to like 128, and you get like 1728ths of an inch, and it's like, okay, I can't even get my head around that.
Yeah, I've got one of those too.
It's like, what the hell does that mean? Just round it up to the nearest like 32nd or something.
Yeah, and the other statement was all electronics are metric, and like I say, at least the last 20 years I was still working, all the electronic instruments were metric.
Oh, the thing that probably annoys me the most though is when I'm using a caliper and it goes and it's 1.64 inches.
1.64 inches.
Yeah, it's decimal inches, and it just drives me crazy. At that point, I'm just going millimeters and be done.
Well, I have a lot of my viewers will say, well, you're giving these speeds in millimeters per minute or millimeters per second if I'm doing my CO2, and why don't you do that in inches? I said, why? It's easy. It's divisible by 10. It's easy. It's.
Yeah, I couldn't even imagine trying to use light burn with like thousandths of an inch.
Well, there's people that do it, and they want to convert it, and well, Google can be your friend there if you want to go that route. But for me, millimeters per minute, millimeters per second, it's just easy.
Yeah, there you go. This is why
Yeah.
the metric system works.
Yeah, 10 fingers. It's when you get into the 64th of an inch, you run out of fingers and toes. Unless you're really weird.
Yeah.
Oh,
I
who was it? I saw a thing. There was somebody that there was an ancient nation that was base 20 because they used fingers and toes.
Clearly, they didn't have shoes.
Sure. Yeah.
So it must
was
have been one of those like Pacific Island nations.
Yeah, it was ancient, and it's you know, I don't know. Probably it's one of the Mediterranean nations, you know, 3,000 years ago. That was base 20 for. Well, that's the only reason you would be base 20.
I'm a tech nerd. I can work in any number base system you want, but it gets kind of pointless at base 20.
It does.
Now, what really throws me is when people start talking about rods and furlongs or chains. What the hell are you talking about?
Or leagues.
Yeah.
Yeah, naval stuff was the last to change. Yes, people have in fact died because they couldn't convert.
Yeah, or the knots to mile per hour or knots to kilometers will throw a lot of people off. And it's not really that hard.
There was one that was at the Mars mission or one of the moon missions where it crashed. Mars. It crashed because they used the guy who wrote the landing system used the wrong system.
Oh, I thought it was that they anticipated the fact that the other was going to convert it and converted it for them. Yes. And then when they got it, they converted it again.
Software bugs, man. That was my life for so long.
Yeah. Well, I had my days doing everything in hexadecimal, so
yeah.
I'm glad those days are gone.
I got to write some code this week to control my rotary lift.
Yeah, that bamboo cutting board is real popular. It makes a great gift. You can buy that bamboo cutting board at Dollar Tree for the bigger one for $5, and conversions on it. A lot of women love them. Great gift. And the graphic I have on my website you can download is not copyrighted because I made it. So feel free to use it.
Well, it is copyrighted, but it's copyrighted by you.
Yeah, I mean, I don't care. You use it all you want. Use it, sell it, do what you want.
Number 22.
I've got quite a few beginner laser projects on my YouTube channel that, you know, if you're just getting started with a laser and you don't know anything about it, go into one of those videos. There's a playlist on it, and you can download the file. And I pretty much have settings in there for different lasers you can start with to practice with. And it's a good way to get started if you don't know what you're doing. And if you don't want to practice on a good slate coaster or a good piece of bamboo, get that Amazon box that stuff came in and
the box.
Do it on that. No, didn't do the pancake on there. That was a weekend thing, and yeah, there was a little alcohol involved with that one. But I said, "Hey, watch this."
I see lots of people trying to do like laser engraving on clothing, on material. It's like that can't be good. Like the first wash, and you're going to have lettered holes in your jeans.
I have done it on denim, and if you do it with a low enough power setting, it will stay there through the washing without burning, without coming apart. But you have to do a really low setting. And it's not something I don't know how long it would last. I did it as just kind of a demonstration thing. And I've done a lot of showing how to cut fabric on both the CO2 and the diode lasers for people to do quilting.
Yeah, cutting is not a bad application for like for laser materials. Like I would think that cutting patterns for things would be better with a laser just because it's faster for one thing, but you get a great cut every time.
The only thing I have found with fabrics that wasn't so good was with wool. If it's like real wool, it'll smell just like cutting leather.
Leather, because it's got oil in it.
Yeah, and it will stink. So you definitely want to have that ventilated.
It's also pretty flammable. So, yeah.
But denim and polyester and cotton on a diode laser or CO2, you can just breeze right through it.
Huh. See, now this is the kind of stuff that inspires me. It's like, no, as a matter of fact, I haven't done a popcorn kernel.
So are we both going to try that this week?
Maybe. I don't know if I have any popcorn here.
Well, Orville Redenbacher, open up the bag and pull one out.
I think if you defocused it enough.
Yeah, you'd have to defocus it. Otherwise, you just cut through it.
Yeah, you don't want to drill a hole through it because then it probably wouldn't pop. But if you defocused it enough, it would. You know, if you created a little circle with a fill and just put it on a whole pan of popcorn, maybe you could pop the whole thing.
That'd be better at Jiffy Pop.
It seems like engineering overkill to me, but it would be interesting to try.
How would you put the butter flavor in it, though?
Machine oil, same thing. Yeah, wear safety glasses. You might have kernels jetting past your head.
And this, folks, is how a fusion plant works.
Yeah. I did the rice kernel when I was when Clackjack and I were challenged. That one was actually really good. I was shocked actually that the P2 could do that. I was pretty sure the F1 wouldn't have any trouble, but the P2 beam is relatively like a hammer compared to an X-Acto knife. With the
Oh, I like the next one here. I can just 3D print some butter.
How would you get it to stay solid though after you squirted it through the nozzle?
Well, I'm trying to figure out what kind of filament I would be able to make out of the heavy cream to actually make the butter.
You'd need a built-in butter churn in line. I could actually, well, with a fiber laser, not a fiber laser, an IR laser, you could put. Actually, no, an IR laser wouldn't do it either. A diode laser would. You could put a logo into a kernel of corn, or a kernel of rice.
Well, I don't know. Our logo's too big. Oh, I got one.
Yeah,
here.
mine's.
Yes. Oh, there's one. There's our logo.
Yeah,
That'd be kind of tough to put on something small.
Well, you just need to make a small enough image. See, my logo is horizontal now, right? So it's easy. You just need a long grain of rice.
I've seen that thing at the fair where put your name on a grain of rice. So I like to know how that was.
What were they charging for that? I could do that.
Yeah. I've seen that at the county fair quite a few times. Put your name on a grain of rice, $5.
Huh. I'm in the wrong business.
Yeah.
You want to pay for your laser quickly, buy a $2 bag of rice and
go to town
and go to a fair.
Yeah, if you bought the long grain, you'd have more area to write on.
Yeah.
Oh, we're getting there.
We got about 2 minutes left. Any last questions? If not,
fire away here. Let the next week, let everybody know what Rick missed, especially with that fine smoke kangaroo we were talking about.
Yeah, well, he'll probably watch it.
Well, you should be able to see everybody's.
Only see his own? Huh. Oh, now we're talking.
Oh, it's Canadian bacon.
Yeah, I don't know what Canadian bacon is.
To me, Canadian bacon is ham.
That's Canadian bacon is something that Americans invented. We don't have Canadian bacon. We have back bacon, which is probably what it's referring to.
So, the big thing here at local is a place called Happy Joe's, a pizza place. is Canadian bacon and sauerkraut pizza, which is actually quite good.
So it's a fusion, international meal.
Yeah.
German pizza.
German Canadian. No, I eat the same kind of bacon that you eat, the regular old smoked bacon,
Right
side
on.
bacon. But there is Canadian bacon. Like when I travel in the US, they always have Canadian bacon, and I chuckle every time I see it because it's like, yeah, you won't find too many people in Canada eating that.
Yeah, it's like ham sausage.
Yeah, it's kind of like it's like a ham, but it's not
like ham loin. Yeah, something like that.
Yeah, well, it's like back bacon, right? Like it's like a ham, but it comes from the backside of a pig and like the back of a pig. And I don't know, we don't eat that as a normal thing.
Well, on the EVA phone, the best thing to do is to find what they call the MSDS of the product and find out what it's made out of. And it will tell you what it will off-gas when it burns. And if there's a chlorine in there, you do not want to do it.
Yeah, I think EVA foam is okay.
Yeah, I Googled this last week during the show, and I saw lots of commentary about crafters and costume makers lasering EVA foam.
Ethylene vinyl acetate. So it's not polyvinyl chloride. So it's not PVC. So I think you're okay to cut it.
Oh yeah, no, you're not going to find that. Just Google it, the EVA foam directly on Google. Don't worry about trying to find it on Amazon. You're not gonna find
That's just what I look at.
Yeah. No, Daniel's fine. I think his biggest issue is he's got limited bandwidth in his workshop, and trying to get his stream up and out just exceeds the bandwidth he can get inside of a shop.
So I'm looking at the chemical composition for EVA, and it's really just a whole bunch of hydrogen and carbon. So there is no chlorine in it.
Yeah, if there's no chlorinated fluorocarbons in it, you should be fine.
All right. You guys want to wrap her up?
Yeah, probably should. It's getting late here, and I got an early morning tomorrow. So glad for everybody joining us tonight, and hope to see you again next week.
Oh, lost your mic, Steve.
Lost Steve's audio.
No, I was on mute.
Oh.
Anyway, I said, yes, thanks for coming. Bring your questions next week, and hopefully we can answer them. There was a last minute question. Yes, Rick was busy tonight. He was in, as Roger says, night court. He was presenting something for some project he's working on. So to try and convince the world that we want to chop down the rainforest or something. I don't know what he was doing, but something like that.
Okay, so see you all next week.
Take care, everyone.
Later, guys.
Ciao.
And we're ending.